In yesterday's video, we covered an NCR camp called Camp Forlorn Hope. The soldiers at this camp are in constant war with Caesar's Legion, who fights them from the nearby town of Nelson. When we arrive, the NCR here feels like it's under siege from all sides. There are so many things going wrong. So we spent some time fixing some of the problems in the camp to relieve the soldiers so that we could assemble a fighting force to attack Nelson. Now that we are done with those tasks, we can go to Major Pilati to initiate our assault on Nelson.
Excellent. Killing the Legion commanders in Nelson will severely cripple the Legion forces and allow us to take back the city. Meet up with Sergeant Cooper just outside Nelson. He will assist you in reclaiming Nelson.
On our way to find Sergeant Cooper, we find a man named Ranger Milo.
If you had a few dozen doses of Psycho on you, maybe we could pep those weepy troopers into charging down into Nelson and taking back the camp. But since that's not likely, you could help me take out the Legion's trooper hostages. The troopers won't go down into camp with their comrades at risk. Dirty game the Legion likes to roll out whenever they get a chance. Problem is, Ranger Milo doesn't want to play. If we take out the hostages, they've got squat for leverage. Back at Ranger School, they taught us not to run headlong into a battle when you're outnumbered 10-1. You want to go down there and try to haul those crippled boys off those poles? You're dumber than you look.
According to Ranger Milo, the Rangers of the NCR have a policy of killing those who have been captured by the Legion to end their suffering. Milo doesn't even seem to consider an option of rescuing the crucified soldiers in Nelson. He only asks for your help to go into the town and kill them. If we agree to help Ranger Milo, our companion Boone expresses his own thoughts on the topic.
Good. We clear out the hostages, they lose their advantage. They're down in a clearing, crucified on some telephone poles. I'll cover you from the ridge. Just make it quick. These boys should be put out of their misery, not plinked to death with some old varmint rifle. And don't get any dreamy notions about playing the hero and dragging these boys out. You'll get swarmed. Now let's go.
To hell with mercy killing. We're getting those guys out of there.
Boone is not a fan of mercy killings. He wants to rescue them. And if we kill all of the legionaries, we can. As we approach Nelson, we find a group of NCR soldiers waiting for us. Here in their midst is Sergeant Cooper.
I've heard of you. Glad to have you on our side. We don't have many troops, so we can only attack from one direction. Where should we focus the attack?
We have two options, attack from the north or attack from the ridge on the east. The mountains are actually to the west. Camp Forlorn Hope lies in the distance far to the north. Just north of Nelson is no man's land. And on the eastern side of the town is the town's main gate. We can enter from the north through no man's land, but this takes us past a large guard tower, and we'd be coming uphill, which would give the Legion the high ground. And we learn from Anakin Skywalker why that's a bad idea. If we try to come from the east, we have to pass through the main gate. This is the most highly guarded portion of the town, with guards down the hill off camera and more guards at the gate. Now the rest of the town is surrounded by a big fence. The only portion not surrounded by the fence is guarded by yet another guard tower. Now the hillside to the west does have one guard tower, but it's kind of cut off from the rest of the town. We could have an easy time of defeating the Legion at this guard tower, and then we would have the entire hillside at our disposal from where we can snipe the Legion in town. Now the sergeant gives us two options here, to attack from the north or to attack from the east. If we attack from the east, we appear on the western side of town. If we attack from the north, we appear on the southern side of town. The western side of the town has that one isolated guard tower, and it gives us a better vantage point. So to get there, we need to attack from the east.
East it is. Reports also say they might have some NCR hostages. If that's true, we need to do what we can to save them, so stay sharp. Our main target is the Legion leader at Nelson. Intel has the commander as one Dead Sea. I've uploaded his last known location to your Pip-Boy. Let's move out!
Before we can come down from the hills to the west, we have to climb those hills. As we ascend, we run into the first legionary. We kill 3 legionaries at this spot. And then can take a small path down towards Nelson. As we wind our way down, the nearby legionaries will attack. Legionaries fire at us from the guard tower to the south. They send their dogs at us, and the melee legionaries will come up to fight the entire lot. In the middle of town, we see the 3 crucified legionary soldiers. From here, we can pick off the legionary snipers in the eastern guard tower.
Like that!
And some of them will charge us. The guard station on the north side didn't notice us, so we can stand on some rocks near the town water tower to pick off the legionaries at the northern guard post. The remaining legionaries are all on the eastern side. Heading east out the main gate, we find a guard tower overlooking the river and a few legionaries wandering around the broken shacks. From here we have the high ground and we can snipe them in the tower. One of the legionaries comes up with throwing spears, but as he's trying to throw uphill, he's no match for our snipers. With the town clear of hostiles, all this leaves is the legionary leader, Dead Sea, found inside the Nelson barracks. Since we know this is going to be close quarters combat, we switch to our pistol and enter VATS immediately upon entry.
This.
And with that, the Legion is officially wiped out of Nelson. Be careful when looting the barracks and other places inside Nelson, as everything not on these corpses is set to owned. I guess the logic is that it's the NCR that owns everything in this shack, so to loot it we would be stealing from the NCR. Back outside we can deal with the crucified but still alive NCR soldiers. We could mercy kill them like Ranger Milo asked us to, but there is no longer a need for mercy killings. Nelson is freed. Instead we can untie each of these men, which is something that Boone approves of.
Mercy killing's a last resort. Glad you recognized we had options.
Sounds like something is haunting our friend Boone here. Completing this quest unlocks companion history points with Boone, which causes Boone to open up a bit more about his own personal tragedy.
Mercy killing is expected of NCR snipers. The Legion likes to torture their prisoners within sight of NCR positions. We get called on to end it. I've had my share. Some of them, you think, maybe you could have gotten them out. Maybe it's not the Legion that got them killed. Maybe it's your orders and you following them.
I'm not going to cover that here. I'm saving that for a dedicated video where we will go over Boone's entire story. So stay tuned for that. Instead, we can go back to Ranger Milo and tell him that we had a change of plans.
I have to admit, I didn't think you could do it. Guess that makes me the sap and you the hero. I'm not authorized to pay for contract work, but here's something for the effort, and I'll make sure everyone hears about what you did. Thanks.
Milo can't pay us, but he's gonna spread our fame far and wide amongst the NCR. I suppose that's reward enough. With that, we can head back to Major Palatti at Camp Forlorn Hope and tell him that Nelson is back in the hands of the NCR.
The initial reports have come back already. Excellent work. This will buy us a lot of breathing room to get back on our feet here. Now we can actually try to strengthen our forces along the river and prepare for the upcoming battle at Hoover Dam. You have my thanks. We owe you a lot.
And so we wrap up one more victory for the good guys. Or do we? One of the most controversial comments I made in yesterday's video on Camp Forlorn Hope was when I called the NCR the good guys. Viewers were quick to remind me of all of the NCR's sins, how they've annexed towns and forced taxation upon people. Could it be that we've really just helped the true enemy of the Mojave Wasteland? Is the NCR really filled with incompetent generals, officers who use their authority for their own gain? Did we really just flip a coin and choose one tyrant over the other? We will explore those thoughts when I do my video on our companion, Cass, which I will save for another day. But never fear, ladies and gentlemen, we will explore all sides to this story. I publish a new Fallout video 6 days a week, so if you want to make sure that you don't miss my upcoming Fallout New Vegas videos, be sure to subscribe and to click the bell notification button. What are your thoughts on Nelson, Camp Forlorn Hope, and the quest Restoring Hope? Let me know in the comments section below. I read through all of your comments and I use the best ones as inspiration for my future videos. And if you're interested, be sure to check out my t-shirt shop, ladies and gents. I have a wide range of t-shirts with Oxhorn or Fallout 4 themed images. You can find a link to the shop in the description below. But more than anything, I'm just so glad you're watching my video today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you Tuesday morning, bright and early, with a brand new video.